Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be joining you today in honor of World Literacy Day, and our whole focus is helping students engage in reading more books more often. So I'm excited to be talking to you today about an online reading platform that does just that. It helps kids engage in reading more books more often, and it's called Simbi Read for Good. My name is Adrienne Gear. I am a teacher, author, and literacy specialist, workshop presenter from Vancouver, Canada. I'm passionate about books. I love reading. I want all my students to be reading more books as often as they can. I've written a few books myself for educators in the area of literacy, and I present around the world and locally, not very much anymore, but hopefully back on the road and sharing my passion for literacy and learning. And I'm a proud member of the Simbi team where I work in support of the curriculum and the content. So I'm excited to talk to you today about this reading platform. I am the author, as I mentioned, of several books, Reading Power, Writing Power, and when I go out and speak, these are the books that I talk about. And if you happen to need a book in a different language, it's available in French, Chinese, and Swedish and Danish. So how do we get kids to engage in reading more books more often? That's our focus. And so Simbi platform is a way that we can try to do that. So I'm going to talk about Simbi, what it is, how it's used, and how it is used to support reading skills, but also how it's used to support global stewardship. And then I'll end with a little reading challenge that we're about to launch. So what is Simbi? Simbi is an online reading platform that supports students in their reading, promotes reading more books more often, but also helps them learn reading skills as they move through their reading journey. We have a wonderful library of thousands of amazing books. We use a leveling system, so their books are leveled and they're graded in different grade levels. We're starting to build different languages in our collection. So we've got some books in French and Spanish, so that's exciting. We have great support from amazing publishers. So we've got some published books, some trade books, some Simbi originals. So the library is very extensive. So children are working independently on their own individualized reading journey. Books are selected for them. They can go in and choose their own books, or their teacher can choose books for them. So the support is that we're helping them move through the reading journey, but also improve their reading skills. And for educators, there's a lot of great features. One particular one is included in the ability for teachers to listen in on their students' reading in the comfort of their own home. They can listen back to a recording that the students made, and that helps them to be more responsive to the needs of their individual students. So, why Simbi? Why do we want our kids to be engaging in more books more often? Well, the stats are out, and they're not pretty. And the stats of 40% of grade 4s in North America are reading below grade level. That's scary. And why is that? Well, I think we know the answer. They're very distracted by their socials, their Snapchats and TikToks and Facebooks and whatever else they're on their devices. And the bottom line is they're not reading. And the less you read, the less chances you are of improving your reading skills. So the more you read, the better you become. And that's really what we're all about, is getting kids engaged in books more often so the reading skills will be improved. So how does Simbi work? Well, it's sign up for free to get started on any device. It is online, so your phone, your tablet, your laptop. And the first thing you'll be able to do is go through and select a book to read. So again, great library, scroll through, find a book that you're interested in. Once you choose a book, you're given 3 options: narrate the book, listen along, read along with somebody else's voice, or silent read. So narrating the book on Simbi is actually really quite fun and engaging. You follow the tracking highlighter across the words, which is actually really helpful for kids who struggle with tracking. If kids with dyslexia or sometimes have trouble with that tracking, so that is a very helpful tool. So you read the book, but as you're reading aloud, you're recording your voice. So one of the motivating things about narrating into the platform and listening back is it really helps you pay attention and notice to your expression, your fluency. Are you pausing at the periods? So it's a great tool. And also when I see kids on Simbi, it's quite motivating for them to listen back and hear themselves read. So it really does help them to focus on that fluency and sharpen their read aloud skills. The second option, as I mentioned, is reading along. This is when you choose to listen to someone else read the book to you. And so you have a variety of different voices to choose from, because readers from all around the world are reading on Simbi. So you can go in if you wanted an English accent or a French accent. There's lots of different accents to choose from. And so when you're listening to someone else read, again, you've got that tracking device going across the page, but you can also really help build comprehension. And having a proficient reader read the book for you, you're getting a really good model of what that reading voice, proficient reading voice sounds like. So it builds that confidence in reading. Kids love reading on Simbi because they are on their own individualized journey. As I mentioned, they can choose books to put in their journey. The teacher can choose, Simbi can choose books for you. So you're going through your journey, earning badges along the way as you read. And so it's very motivating to be able to be really participating in your own choices of books on the platform. Here's the really exciting part for me. Because Simbi is a global platform, readers around the world are reading on Simbi, but also we are listening in to those voices. So once a week, all users on Simbi are receiving an email that's called an impact report. And the exciting part about this is you get to see and visibly on a world map all the different people around the world who listen to your voice in that past week. So talk about motivating. When this impact report gets sent out, the kids are like, and it gets quite competitive too. It's like, how many people read your books? How many people read your books? So it gets quite exciting when you realize that you are having an impact with other people around the world learning to read. Now, the submission of your voice into the global library is optional. It's not something that you have to do, but if you want to submit your voice, it goes through an approval, and then it becomes part of this central global library. One of the things that is really, really supporting students' reading skills is with the tools that Simbi provides for educators. So because children are reading aloud and recording their voice, it gives educators an opportunity to go back and listen in to students read. And what that does is it helps them become much more on top of the reading skills of their students. We get distracted in class. It's hard sometimes to do that one-on-one listening. So the ability to go in and listen to children read just in the comfort of your own home and start paying attention to things that maybe they're reading through periods, or they're not reading with enough expression. There's another feature that I really like on Simbi called the Tell Me button. This enables an educator, a teacher, to actually go in and leave personalized messages for students. with tips and compliments and advice on improving reading skills. So when a student listens back, it really helps them become involved in their own learning and engaged in, okay, well, the teacher said I needed to work on this, so next time I'm going to do that. And it's just a nice way of connecting to kids in that way through that digital feature. So also you can assign books. You can group your students in different reading groups. So there's a lot of great features for educators. So why Simbi? Why choose Simbi when there's a lot of other reading platforms out there? And there are lots of reading platforms to choose from if you're looking for one for your children at home, if you're looking for one for your classroom or for your school or district. There are a lot out there. So what sets Simbi apart? This is really exciting for me because this is what drew me into Simbi, is all this notion that we are connected. We are connected globally through this platform. And so what happens is as learners and readers narrate and submit their voice into the global library, other people around the world are using those recordings to help learn to read. So that's this notion of promoting global stewardship and helping other people around the world in a way that has a big impact on them. Giving back, helping that children that while they're reading on Simbi, they're improving their reading skills, but they're also helping promote reading around the world and helping people in remote areas possibly who don't have access to technology and reading to be able to read and listen. And giving kids a reason to read. And this idea that your voice is helping others is really an extraordinary thing. And that to me is what engages users in the Simbi platform. When you're 8 years old, it's hard to imagine yourself as a change agent. It's hard to imagine yourself that you are being able to contribute to something greater, the greater good. But this platform gives kids, even younger kids who are learning their proficiency in reading, to support people around the world. And what's amazing about Simbi is their connection to the Simbi Foundation. And the Simbi Foundation is a nonprofit that sets up amazing and extraordinary platforms in remote areas in underdeveloped countries where children don't have access to the technology that our students necessarily have. So setting up using used shipping crates to set up these extraordinary solar powered hubs that bring the technology of the Simbi platform to students who don't normally have access to it. So that is just a remarkable connection to that the reading platform has with the foundation, and it is so motivating as well to students, say in privileged countries, North America, where with kids that I'm teaching, to really understand that not everyone has the computers and the Wi-Fi that we have, and just to give them that insight into people around the world that might not be as privileged as we are. So all that being said, we are so excited to share Simbi with the world, and so excited for educators to start using it and parents to start using it. And so we're setting up this Read for Good challenge. It's connected to and in line with World Literacy Day. That's when we launch the sign up, and you can sign up to challenge your class to narrate books on Simbi. Set a goal. How many books do you think we can read to help people around the world? And once you meet that challenge, then the idea is you set the challenge to another classroom, either in your school or a colleague. And we're trying to get as many people on the platform as possible during those 2 weeks. And we want to just get everyone narrating books on Simbi and really start bringing people together, bringing global literacy to everyone, and just engaging. I mean, that's what this is about. How do we engage kids in reading more books more often? And when we motivate them to, this is going to help you with improving your own reading skills, but also you can be helping people around the world become better readers as well. It's just an amazing connection. And so I'm hoping everyone's going to go and try it and just go into the library and narrate a book and read for good. Simbi.io is how you access it. If you want more information about the actual platform or getting it into your school or your district, you would contact Alex Gillis. He's the head of Educator Success, and he will be able to answer all your questions about the platform and about getting it going in your school. And if you have any questions about reading or books, you can certainly contact me. Thank you so much for listening. I'm hoping everyone feels that little motivation to engage in more books more often through the Simbi Read for Good platform. And I so appreciate your time, and happy World Literacy Day and happy reading to everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us. This International Literacy Day, share your love and appreciation of reading with a disadvantaged child who doesn't own a single book. Please visit worldliteracyfoundation.org and donate today. Thank you.